Hey everybody, it's Alex here with iChongqing, and I have a guest that I've been trying to get to Chongqing for a while, and he has finally arrived. Colin, welcome.
Hey, thank you. Nice to be here.
Great. So, okay, Colin, we're going to start this off. First impressions of this mega city, Chongqing.
First impressions are, like you just said, it's a mega city. Yeah, I like it because it's so like, there's so much like different terrain that you don't usually get within other cities, and it just gives it the character that makes it Chongqing, I guess.
Right. So this is not your first time to China. You've been here a few times, right?
Yeah, I've been here collectively probably like 3-ish.
What keeps bringing you back to China?
It's the first country that I've traveled to outside of the U.S.
Really?
Yeah, so
I know that.
yeah, I just moved here and on a whim, not kind of on a whim, but I don't know, I just like being here. It kind of feels like home because, yeah.
So you've been a content creator for how many years now?
Technically 11, but I don't really count my first few videos as like being a content creator because that's just me learning.
Okay.
So I've been doing travel content since 2015. So 8 years.
8 years. And maybe for the audience, you have a niche market on what you're doing on YouTube, and the viewers have spoken. You're well over 1.5 million subscribers now. You have a few channels on YouTube.
Yep.
Let's talk about the main channel for the moment, and what we will also include some footage right about now.
I'll do 2 for $14 US.
Hả? Chị không có đi về đi. Ở trên trường nào? Không biết gì. Nó bị đi tụi mình.
Okay, bye price. 150 for this.
Come on.
Yeah. You'll
And
do it?
Let's talk about your channel. Tell us a little bit about it.
All right, so my channel is I just go to these markets and I go haggling for products because, if you've been to these types of markets, they try to get a lot of money out of you. So if you're haggling for some shoes, they'll be like $100. Like, oh, these are like $20, right?
So are these like markets, like for example, Bangkok, where you're on like one of the busy tourist streets, people are selling stuff?
Absolutely. So the best markets haggling are the tourists.
Okay.
They look at you as a foreigner, they know you got money, or they think you got money, so they're trying to get the most money they can out of you.
So like any tips how we can get the best price?
There's many tips, yes.
Okay.
One, don't be afraid to bargain. I feel like as a Westerner, even before I came to China, I never haggled in my life, and it feels foreign. So
Okay.
You feel cheap, right?
Right.
Oh, you're haggling over like $10, right? But you need to, otherwise, every time you try to purchase something in the markets, but every time you try to purchase something, you're gonna overpay every step of the way, and that all adds up. And it's expected to haggle too. So they put their prices high with the expectation that the customer is going to start low, and then you meet in the middle somewhere.
I guess you got a lot of experience in this. I mean, how many markets do you think you've been to?
So I'm transaction-wise, I'm probably around like 500
Wow.
individual transactions.
Can you tell me, so what would be maybe one of the most interesting markets that you've...
That's got to be the Beijing one.
Beijing?
Yeah, those markets up there. Why you were kind of talking up Chongqing, this market. So I'm kind of curious to see how that compares to that one, because the ones in Beijing, they go super hard and they're really aggressive. And that's another tip, is the aggression isn't real. So
It's not like a show. Is it like a show?
yeah, it's like they're not really mad at you. Like if I'm like $20, they're like, what do you mean $20? Like, I'm serious. But that's another thing, is don't get emotional. It's all a game.
Okay.
So I'm curious to see how Chongqing compares to that, because I can see somebody like fresh off the boat, just got to Beijing, and they go into that market, they're gonna get turned off real quick. So you got to go in with the mindset of, hey, this is just the game. You got to play the game.
And so what kind of things, like, now you've been experienced, I've seen some of your videos from Turkey, I believe. You had some from Greece?
Greece, yep.
China, of course.
China.
Thailand. Any other nations that you've been out there haggling for goods?
Yeah, I mean, I've even been to like Kenya.
Oh, wow.
Tanzania, Egypt. Egypt's another tough market. Morocco, all over Southeast Asia, Philippines, Malaysia, Cambodia, Laos.
And what makes you, do you think a lot of these products, even in like Laos and Cambodia and stuff, I think it's still a lot of them are coming from China?
Yeah, you know what? I asked some of the vendors where they come from, especially from Vietnam, because in Vietnam there's a lot of, that's when the North Face, right?
Okay.
So they
North
get
Face, like the brand, the brand North
brands. So they get a lot of stuff. So like you can just ask the vendors, like, is this the legit North? And they'll be honest with you, be like, yeah, this is legit. This isn't. This is, because so in Vietnam the North Face is huge, but yeah, like I said, if you just ask the vendors where they come from, they'll tell you. And yeah, a lot of times they say China. I've gotten in Bangkok, there was this one shop where they say they get their shoes from Korea, which I guess was why they marked up the price super high.
Okay.
I don't know, but yeah.
In your venture here in CHongqing now, over the course of this week, markets is going to be the first one. You're going to go to Haggling market, a very famous market here that's been around for a century, which is all part of a major trader out in China. What are your other ambitions and goals here? You're going to be here for the next few days. What else do you want to get up to?
Yeah, so I'm excited to see the market. I haven't been there yet. You're talking it up really good. So.
I better be good.
But yeah, for the other channels, I want to do, just see CHongqing. So CHongqing has always been an interest to me because, as we were talking earlier today, it's the most populated city, but it's the most populated, least popular, in my opinion. Because even when I moved to China, I knew Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen. But then CHongqing was always like out here, people talk about it here and there. And like, it was really weird because like, you hear about these other Chinese cities and you just assume Beijing and Shanghai and Shenzhen are the bigger cities. Yeah. But then you research it and then you realize like 31 million people, like why haven't I heard about this city before I moved to China? You know what I'm saying? If I go back home and talk about CHongqing with my friends, nobody's gonna know what I'm talking about.
Well, this is amazing because you have a platform that can tell people about the size of the city, not just the size, but I think part of it has to do with maybe the transition of this city. This used to be a big, heavy industrial city. Okay. And a lot of the decisions by the government have moved it away into renewable resources, which have, kind of made these factories not what they used to be. They've innovated to make it cleaner. I think that's a goal of the entire China, but just here in CHongqing, if you look at photos probably 20 or 30 years ago, you would see heavy industrial. Okay. And a goal here is, you see it mostly during the day. Pollution level is quite good for me. That's just me coming from Bangkok, where I used to, my eyes would itch, each days. But here I haven't had any of those days. The other thing I think, you made that interesting comment. It's one of the biggest cities in the world that nobody knows about.
Right.
It's like,
so that was like my draw coming here. It's like with my buddy, we were planning this China trip, and that like the main event was CHongqing.
Great.
Like, I need to see CHongqing because it's just interesting in that aspect.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, if you want. Maybe your nationality, where you come from, and what on earth got you into starting this channel?
Okay, so I'm from America, near Chicago area, and it's back in so I've always been like a huge YouTube fan, consumer. So back in like the golden age of YouTube, 2007 to 2009, I would just be watching YouTube and I'd watch random people and be like, I could do this, like if they could do it, I could do it, So over the next few years, I started saving up money, bought a camera and whatnot, and just kind of got into it, I was, like we were talking earlier, I don't count the first few videos because they're just phone review videos. Okay. I didn't have necessarily a passion for it, but like I thought I was good at it. But I just used that to learn. And then over the years, I'm like, well, what do I really want to do? Where do I want to take this channel? And I've always thought like, I don't want to have to release a video just to release a video. Meaning, I don't want to have to like, I don't have any ideas for a video, but I'm going to just post anything, So for me, I was thinking, I was like, well, I also want to travel. I've never really traveled before. And if I travel, video ideas just come to you. You probably experience as you see something cool on the streets, like, wow, that's cool. Here's a new video, like that hot pot video you were talking about. You wouldn't get that sitting in your basement. You wouldn't get that idea. You know what I'm saying?
Fantastic story. Well, I just want to tell all our viewers out there, whether you're watching us on iChongqing or Bridge News or some of our other channels out there, that definitely we will put a link for Colin's channels in the description. Maybe you could tell us briefly before we end today's discussion, your channels, how we can find you, where we can find you. Maybe let our audience know. That would be great.
All right, cool. Main channel, all the market bargaining channel, mostly strictly like bargaining, whatever. Colin Broadcast. I have a second channel that I just started. It's more of a daily exploration of my travel throughout cities. Colin Broadcasting, ING, like, you know, in the moment. I'm a broadcast, whatever. And also I got a Colin Broadcast VR. So if you have a headset, like an Oculus, or no, it's called the MetaQuest, or like a Vive, whatever, catch me there and watch in VR. And it looks cool on mobile too, but it's mostly.
Well, I'll make sure I put all those links in the description below. Anyways, you guys have a great day. Take care. Thanks for watching.